Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 25th of October. So the euro is, I've said it's been in a bearish trend, but it's continuing and it's broken that prior sort of level of support which worked for a day. But broke down yesterday, closed below that trend line now. Where to next? Well, it's not far off of the sort of levels I expected it might have gone down to, although it may not be finished. But we do have the ECB press conference today at 1:30. Well, the interest rate at 12:45. I don't expect too much to come from that, but Draghi speaking at 1:30 could be the drag on the euro, or see how I'll link that, or who knows, he may come out with something a little bit more positive. I think he's been trying to balance it between one thing and another. He doesn't want the euro too strong, of course, because it makes them less competitive. So we'll see what comes out there. But who knows? It could be the one where he spins it the opposite direction. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see for that. What this means then, just coming down this time frame, well, we've seen a rally through the Asian session through the pound and the euro here, and it's run back to its daily pivot. So what am I looking for? Well, possibly more downside. There is a very simply drawn trend line across the lows here. It may be not the first, because it's so tight, it may not be necessarily the first move break of this, but looking for the downside from that sort of level. Where to? Well, down towards that S2 area, the monthly S2 down to the daily S1 at 13.58 to the downside. If it does rally, well, it may pop up to its R1, it may push on through back. I mean, if Draghi gets a bit bullish, it could just continue. It could be a bit of a game changer. So it is very much a game changing day potentially for the euro. What does that mean this morning? Could be quiet. Some days we see a bit more price action. We'll have to see is the answer to that one. Okay, moving on, the pound. Okay, a couple of days ago we moved through, broke, closed below that trend line there, but it's still in this bullish, bearish direction in my book. There's not a lot that's come out there that's been particularly positive. Maybe May. Such play on words today. Maybe holding a job for a bit longer. They've not, by the sounds of it, she's not been put under any further pressure. Than the number of letters didn't get to the numbers needed. So it may have been a positive stage. I don't think, possibly, maybe. Anyway, what's the pound done? Well, it's pushed up towards the daily pivot today already, and well, it's just got a bit overbought where it's sitting at the moment on one of my indicators. Now, again, there's the potential for pushing on further. Personally, I'm just looking at the trend. I'd rather be shorting. Maybe if it gets into that 34, see what happens. If it pushes through it, wait for the 50, and maybe sell into the 50. I know it has been hit before, but I would look at it anyway, because, as I say, where it's sitting at the moment is overbought this morning. Now, perhaps things may change this afternoon, but for now, unless there's some Brexit statement that comes out there that is particularly bullish for the pound, it's in a lower highs, lower lows. So for me, it looks a short potential. Dollar yen. Now, what's been going on here then? It pitched and through this Asian session, it's pitched through my trend line, which is very annoying. I wish it just hang into where it is, but if it hasn't closed there yet, it could still turn around and close below that level, in which case it becomes bearish. It's fighting against every other currency by looks of things, and which would suggest that the very fact I keep on talking about is this money going to safety. And certainly yesterday, when everything else was running in all different directions, it'd been pushing itself down for most of the day there, getting stronger. 12 o'clock bar, the 4 o'clock bar getting stronger. Okay, the euro picked up later on, but and the pound, but a tad. But it was generally getting stronger. Maybe now it's going to get weaker. It's down into its weekly, S1 area. Maybe it's the great unknown at the moment in terms of what it's doing. Has got a daily pivot above, maybe enough to draw it further up. It's not correlated with anything at the moment, so I'll leave that. Aussie dollar continued further weakness in the end yesterday. It shows little signs of hope, and then it just sells off in a bigger way. This is what I've said. It's a weakish currency and a weakish market, and whenever, yes, it does manage to get a few days up, but plop, it drops. And it's looking soft so far this morning as well. Now, already through the daily pivot. Again, this one I'm looking as an ugly head and shoulder pattern appearing here in terms of this movement. It could, I mean, even, well, I'm not going to any other studies, but it could be heading off down to that S1 sort of territory. Okay, and finally the Canadian dollar. It's probably the cleanest I've seen the Aussie dollar look for a while, I'm sure. Good news in a sense yesterday, but I'm not totally convinced by the data. They increased the interest rate as expected. Of course, the retail market saw reason to buy the Canadian dollar. The banks don't necessarily. Where is it going to sit? Well, maybe it'll tighten up a little bit. It wasn't the most bullish of statements. There were some comments that were removed to suggest that they won't increase interest rates at particular intervals, which was taken as a bullish signal by some. I'm still not convinced by this, although it's back into it. It's moved away from the point where I was looking for a breakout. So we'll see. But for today, chopping along nicely, and consolidation. So it's same old really. If I was looking at this, I mean, and wanted to get into a trade earlier, I'd probably be just looking at even to play it back to that trend line that's up there, a break of this sort of area here. It starts breaking through. Maybe a bit patient enough to wait for the 50 to be broken, but if it was to be moving up that way, this may be the early signs of some bullishness coming back into this for the US dollar against the CAD. Okay, that's it for me. News-wise today, as I said, the key news really, we've got a bit of data at 9 o'clock, the German IFO business climate, which may cause a little stir in the market around about 9 o'clock, but the real data is at 12:45, but real data is at 1:30 with the ECB press conference. You've got US durable goods at 1:30 as well, which sometimes causes a little bit of volatility around the beginning of Draghi's speech, or probably just as he's sitting down. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.